Following the success of the Jim Carrey comedy Ace Ventura: Pet Detective in 1994, it was perhaps inevitable that a sequel would follow, and indeed it did in 1995, with the release of Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls. Although largely maligned by critics at the time, the film made over $200 million against its $30 million budget, and was thus a financial success for Warner Brothers. Ace Ventura: Pet Detective had been passed uncut with a 12 rating for a British theatrical release in March 1994, and this rating has been retained for all subsequent home video releases since. In late 1995, Warner Brothers submitted Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls to the BBFC for a theatrical rating with a request for a PG certificate, perhaps in part due to the fact that some children under 12 had seen the first film on video and TV and enjoyed the madcap antics of the Ace Ventura character. Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls had received a PG-13 rating in the United States for crude humour, and it was this version of the film that came into the BBFC with a request for a PG. However, the board were adamant that heavy cuts were required to bring the film in line with the family-friendly parameters of the British PG rating. In this edition of Cutting Edge, we'll be taking a look at the changes that were demanded of the film by the BBFC in order to achieve a PG rating. The initial cuts made to the film occurred during the opening in Reel 1, which spoofs the 1993 action thriller Cliffhanger. The affected material in the uncut version plays as follows.
Do not fret, my little woodland friend, for your life is in the hands of Ace Ventura. Pet Detective. Whatever you do, don't look down. Hang on, little buddy! I gotcha! I think I gotcha! Maybe not! You're slipping! Don't let go!
For the British version, the BBFC demanded,
when Ace attempts to rescue Raccoon, considerably reduce close shots of animal whimpering and clinging to Ace before falling to its death. Not funny to young children.
As a result, the truncated UK version played as follows.
Do not fret, my little woodland friend, for your life is in the hands of Ace Ventura. Pet Detective. Whatever you do, don't look down. Hang on, little buddy! I gotcha!
Reel 2 saw the next changes, during the Slideshow presentation in Nibia with Ace, Fulton and Cadby. The uncut version of the sequence plays thus.
Now these two are Australians. The bald one is Mick Katie. The other is said to have been raised by Aborigines. Aborigines. The natives call him Gaji, the hunter. Both are known poachers and have been
Mr. Ventura! This wedding ceremony is going to take place in 4 days. I cannot have bloodshed in my province. We're counting on you.
For the UK version, the BBFC stipulated,
During Slideshow, remove all sight of shadow hand over man's crotch.
In order to accommodate this somewhat unusual request, whilst maintaining continuity, the filmmakers made use of some alternate, less risque footage, as this clip demonstrates.
Now, these two are Australians. The bald one is Mick Katie. The other is said to have been raised by Aborigines. The natives call him Gaji, the hunter. Both are known poachers and have been
Mr. Ventura! This wedding ceremony is going to take place in 4 days. I cannot have bloodshed in my province. We're counting on you.
Later in Reel 2, Fulton and Ace meet the Wachati tribe. The uncut version contains the following material.
Bumblebee Tuna! Ace Ventura, pet detective. How are you this afternoon? Alrighty then.
Excuse me. Your balls are showing.
Bumblebee Tuna?
They have lived in the same state for thousands of years.
Once again, the sexual humour was too much for the BBFC, who demanded,
Remove Ace's dialogue to native African man. Your balls are showing.
Hi there, nice to see you. Bumblebee Tuna? Bumblebee Tuna! Ace Ventura, pet detective. How are you this afternoon? Alrighty then.
They have lived in the same state for thousands of years.
Shortly afterwards, Fulton and Ace meet the Wachati chief, who shows his affection for Ace by spitting in his face. Ace returns the favour in his usual over-the-top manner, as seen here in the uncut version.
Aren't I the popular one? Allow me to display my affection. It is the mucus that binds us.
For the UK PG version, the BBFC simply stated,
Reduce spitting sequence in sacred bat hut.
Just under 20 seconds of footage was removed, reducing Ace's snorting and the subsequent sight of everyone covered in spittle.
Aren't I the popular one? Allow me to display my affection. It is the mucus that binds us.
3 more changes were demanded in Reel 3 of the film. The first of which concerned this sequence in the uncut version, which shows Ace spending some quality time alone after speaking with the Wachati princess.
I have vowed to take a life of celibacy.
Well, perhaps this will assist your decision.
Those are very nice. But I am a child of light, a pure spirit. I am no longer encumbered by the appetites of the flesh. Oh, mama. Oh, mama. Oh, mama. Oh, mama. Oh, mama. Ooh, mama. Oh, mama.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Ventura.
That's okay. I was just
mantra.
No surprises here, with the BBFC demanding
remove all sight of man's shadow rocking vigorously to imply masturbation, resuming as Fulton enters hut.
Those are very nice. But I am a child of light, a pure spirit. I am no longer encumbered by the appetites of the flesh.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Ventura.
That's okay. I was just practicing my mantra.
During Ace's interrogation of Quinn, another cut was demanded by the BBFC. The uncut version contains the following material.
A tough guy, huh? I know what to do with tough guys.
My brother used to do that to me! Oh, you sadistic bastard! Stop it! All right, I'll talk!
Spill it!
I paid Derek McCain to find the bat!
Perhaps concerned about imitability and the somewhat gross humour, the BBFC cuts for this scene stated,
remove big close-up of Ace pushing his eyeball out.
The act is heavily shortened in the UK version.
A tough guy, huh? I know what to do with tough guys.
All right, I'll talk!
Spill it!
I paid Derek McCain to find the bat!
Later in Reel 3, Ace is made to engage in various trials by the Wachutu tribe in order to gain their trust. The uncut version plays as follows. For the British PG, the BBFC demanded rather colourfully,
remove all sight of Ace pushing pregnant woman's stomach and subsequent expulsion of fetus across hut.
As a result of this change, there was a rather obvious jump in the musical soundtrack. The last change made to the film occurred in Reel 4 during Ace's final test in the Circle of Death. Here is how the uncut version plays out.
It's in the bone! It's in the bone! It's in the
Here, the BBFC requested,
remove close shot of foot in Ace's crotch.
It's in the bone! It's in the bone! It's in the bone!
After the filmmakers had made the necessary edits, Ace Ventura When Nature Calls was passed PG by the BBFC on December the 11th, 1995, after 95 seconds of cuts. The film was later submitted in a pre-cut version for a VHS rating in 1996, and all but one of the cinema cuts had been replicated. As a result, the BBFC informed the filmmakers,
in scene featuring slide presentation, remove all sight of hand shadow playing over male figure's crotch.
This change was duly made, and after 3 seconds of cuts, the film was passed PG on June 4, 1996. A few years later, the UK cinema version was submitted to the BBFC again for a home video rating, and with no further cuts required of the film, it was once again passed PG on September 21, 2000. The cut UK cinema version of the film has remained the official UK version since it was first released in cinemas. However, the story doesn't end there. Almost 16 years to the day since the film was last classified by the BBFC, a double-disc Blu-ray set containing Ace Ventura and Ace Ventura When Nature Calls was released in the UK on September 19, 2016. This set carries a 12 rating, since any collection of films with different BBFC classifications must always carry the highest classification of whatever content is included. So in this case, since the first film is rated 12, the overall set is rated 12. What isn't made clear on the packaging is the fact that the version of Ace Ventura When Nature Calls that is included in the set is the original uncut version as released in the United States. At the time this episode was in production, the uncut version of the film had not been formally classified by the BBFC. This would appear to be yet another Warner Bros. Release that has slipped out under the radar, a topic we have touched upon in previous episodes of the series. The BBFC insight on the back of the Blu-ray set states that it contains moderate sex references. UK fans wishing to get their hands on the uncut version of the film are obviously encouraged to pick up the Blu-ray set. For those wanting the uncut version on DVD, the Region 1 release in the United States was reissued on June 6, 2017, and features none of the BBFC cuts. Warner Bros. Actually released Ace Ventura When Nature Calls on its own on Region Free Blu-ray in early September 2013, but this edition appears to be out of print. Fans in America wanting to own both films in HD can also grab the UK double Blu-ray set, as this too is region free and will play on any Blu-ray player worldwide.